just need to close my eyes.
Nope, we're running, Mackenzie. We're running laps with our puppy. Although we had already found the way to Blackrock, we weren't quite ready to leave yet. We had this one deer hide that was almost done curing, and once it was done, we could make our deerskin pants. In the meantime, we decided to go back down through the steam tunnels to the other side of the power plant to collect some stuff that we left in one of our favorite trailers, when we ran into timberwolves, like we always do. But that didn't stop us from completing our secondary objective, which was collecting so many sticks so we could eventually make a 12-hour fire to craft our pants. The puppies were cool with it though. They followed us all the way back to the trailer, where we picked up our stuff and turned around and headed right back towards the prison. And the way back was weirdly quiet. The timberwolves seemed to have vanished, which allowed us to pick up sticks in peace. When we got back to the prison, we decided to explore the courtyard a bit, since the weather was nice and we still had a torch. We decided to check some of the car trunks since we had a pry bar. But, of course, we didn't find anything. We explored the area a little more since the courtyard puppy was weirdly missing, and found some reclaimed wood and a few sticks. But eventually Mackenzie got cold, so we went back inside to do some chores. After our chores, there's plenty of daylight left, so we decided to go outside and run laps in a blizzard, so Mackenzie would be tired enough to sleep through the night. At one point, a friendly wolf joined us. Once Mackenzie was sufficiently tuckered out, we went back inside, checked on our deer hides, and then went to bed.
I'm so tired, I could just lay down right here.
We're about to lay down, right here, Mackenzie. Go on to the snare. Come on, oh, you're right there, go. Get snared. You guys! The next day, we were still waiting for our deer hides to cure, so we decided to kill time by going out foraging in front of the prison. First, we went to the left of the road to see if the ptarmigans happened to be back, which they were not. So we did some vegan foraging instead. We got some mushrooms, some sticks, and some rose hips. Next, we decided to cross to the other side of the road to do some foraging over there, where we found some sticks, and some cattail stalks, and some rabbits. So we decided to place down our newly crafted snare and go back to the prison to give it some time to do its thing. After warming up and doing some chores in the prison, we headed back out to check on our snare, which caught absolutely nothing. So we decided to hunt the rabbits the old-fashioned way. It took us a few tries, but we eventually got them. Then we retrieved our useless snare and went back to the prison, where we harvested our bunnies and went back to the infirmary to check on our deer hides, which were 99% cured. Then we had a nice hearty dinner and went to bed excited for the next day. God, we have so many sticks. How many sticks do we have? 100 sticks! We did it! The next day, we were up at the crack of dawn, hobbling our way towards the workbench, ready to make our pants. We made the biggest fire the game would allow, and then got to work on our deerskin pants, which took literally all day, and we messed up Mackenzie's sleep schedule real bad in the process, but oh boy, it was worth it for those pants. After our glorious new pants were done, we noticed our fire still had some time on it, so we did a little more crafting. We made a fishing lure, some fishing lines, and some fishing hooks. Then we made our way back to the infirmary and promptly went to bed. Oh, Mackenzie, we've gone full nocturnal. Oh, this is not good. Yep, we went full nocturnal. So we went outside and ran laps out in the snow until Mackenzie got tired enough to sleep for the night. And once again, our friendly wolf friend joined us. Once we were done with our laps, we went back to the infirmary again and decided to have some rusty pinnacle peaches to treat ourselves. Oh no. Unfortunately, it gave us food poisoning. Having tortured Mackenzie enough for the day, we let him go to bed and sleep it off. Okay. We're good, probably. The wolf gods have heard our prayers, it seems. Thank you, wolf gods.
It's starting to weigh me down.
Oh, wolf gods, no! The next day was finally the day that we were going to leave Blackrock. So we walked along the familiar path all the way back to Foreman's Clear Cut to pick up the rest of our garbage before heading out. When we ran into wolves, as we always do, but luckily we were prepared with a flare in hand. We climbed up the final climbing area and into the cave to lead us out of Blackrock. Then we began our journey through the seemingly endless cave that just kept going and going until we eventually found the end and made ourselves at home by dropping all of our garbage. Then it was finally time to leave the cave and see what region was on the other end. And it was Timberwolf Mountain, a region that did not make an appearance in story mode, so we were completely lost. So we made a map to get our bearings and started just wandering around. We quickly found some bunnies, so we decided to lay down our snare hoping we'd have better luck with it this time. Then we said hello to the friendly local deer population and heard what we thought was a wolf killing one of those deer nearby. Channeling the new region energy, we decided to go check it out, hoping to steal the deer carcass from the wolf. We threw our torch at him to scare him away, then plopped down a fire right by the deer carcass, which failed and was very scary for all of us. No. Okay, go. Oh, okay. After scaring off the wolf, we finally managed to make a fire so we could start harvesting the deer carcass in peace. And in the process, we leveled up our carcass harvesting skill again. Then we threw ourselves a little welcome to Timberwolf Mountain barbecue and made sure the wolf knew he was not invited. Once the barbecue was over, we hauled our deer meat all the way back to our cave, where we did a little bit of home organizing before going to bed. Oh no. Oh, you're a pretty kitty. What does that mean exactly? The next day, it was time to explore Timberwolf Mountain proper. We left the safety of our cave and started making maps of the area, when we saw what looked like a building in the distance, but turned out to be a plane engine. So we plopped down a fire for a quick pit stop, made some more maps, then continued on our way up the hill, where we made even more maps, and figured out what that cougar cutscene from before meant. Once we reached the bottom of the hill, we found an interesting looking area below that looked like it might have some goodies for us. So again, we made another map, and then continued exploring the area. When we found an interesting looking tree, we were on our way to investigate when we were interrupted by a wolf. Oh, but that didn't stop us from harvesting some acorns. While we were running away from the wolves, we found a cute little cabin, complete with a fishing hut. We decided this must be our new home, and so we started making our way towards it. When we got to the fishing hut, we immediately found a heavy hammer, which we had been looking for. We also found a note that marked a place on our map. Then we drew yet another map to make sure our new home was on there. Then we made our way over to the main cabin, where we were pleasantly surprised to find a door, a workbench, and lots of goodies, including another note that marked yet another place on our map. Extremely pleased with our new home, we crawled into bed and called it a night. Hey, sorry about your death. Sorry I don't have anything good on you. What happened here, man? The next morning, we woke up craving a home-cooked meal. Now that we had acorns, we wanted to make some acorn bannock, which requires cooking oil, which is made from animal fat, which we had a lot of back at our original cave. So we decided that's where we were headed today. Before we headed out, we wanted to make a map including our cabin, when we noticed something we missed yesterday.
Thank goodness.
Filled with glee and excitement, we made our map, made ourselves some nice breakfast, and then headed out back towards our original cave. When we ran into not one, not two, but 3 wolves. We scared them away, and then continued following the river. Once the fog cleared, we made another map, when we noticed a climbing area in the distance. We climbed up the rope, and found ourselves back on familiar ground. On the way back to the cave, we decided to harvest some saplings, now that we could, because we're the proud owners of a hacksaw. Once we got back to the cave, we went inside, grabbed our animal fat, and got a fire going so we could start making our cooking oil. Once our cooking oil was done, it was late afternoon, so we decided just to hang around the cave to do some foraging and check on our snare. Hi, snare, you're still useless, I see. That's perfectly fine. We continued just wandering around, wasting time, when we found a cave that we somehow missed the day before. It turned out to be a big cave, and we were so curious where it went, we decided to explore it a little bit, where we found lots of goodies.
Just what I need.
And eventually, we made it to the end of the cave, which led again to Timberwolf Mountain. Confused, we decided to draw a map, and we realized we were in the valley that we had found the day before. Not quite ready to explore that area, we retreated back to the cave and went all the way back to the entrance, where we drew another map just to make sure the cave was on it, then headed back again to our original cave to turn in for the night. Already another blizzard? We just had a blizzard. The next day, we had an excellent cave tour planned. We were going to pick up all of our garbage at the home cave, go on down to the cave tunnel that we just discovered, down to the other side of the cave tunnel, to explore some other caves on that side, and eventually bring all of our garbage back down to our cabin. So we picked up all of our garbage and left the cave, only to find a giant blizzard waiting for us. So we went back inside and did some chores while we waited for the blizzard to pass. But when we went back outside again, the blizzard was still raging, so we went back inside to wait it out. Eventually, the blizzard did pass, so we made our way towards the cave and checked our snare along the way, surprised to find it actually caught something.
I could use this.
Once we made it over to the cave, the weather was already turning bad again. So we made our way through the cave tunnel all the way to the other end to set up camp so we'd be ready to explore in the morning.
There's got to be something useful in here.
Oh, socks and more jeans and more socks. I don't want your bowling shoes and more socks. The next morning, we were ready to explore. We left our cave with the hopes of making it to Chasm Cave. So we went down the hill towards the valley, which had a wolf waiting for us. We scared him away with our torch, and then made our way towards some juicy-looking boxes. We sawed them open with our beloved hacksaw, and found a bunch of new clothes for Mackenzie. We immediately put the new clothes on, and then it was time to scare the wolf away again. But he did not like being told no, and it took a few tries to get him to go away. We decided to draw a map of the area when the wolf came back yet again. We shoot him away again, but we were starting to get a little spooked by how persistent he was, so we just ran away and ended up in Echo Ravine, which surely would lead us to Chasm Cave. But after wandering around in the ravine for a while, we still hadn't found the cave. But we did find a bear. That's definitely a bear, so we're going this way. Eventually, we did find a cave at the end of the ravine. Chasm Cave? What? But it wasn't Chasm Cave, it was a path to the Ash Canyon region, another region that was not in story mode. Confused and frazzled, we stopped and made a map, and decided we didn't want to be here, and quickly went back the way we came. Once we were back in Timberwolf Mountain, we made a map to see where we went wrong, and boy, we were way off from Chasm Cave. So we went back through the entire ravine, only to find Chasm Cave right near the valley. Once inside, we checked out the dead computer guy and his computer, but we didn't find anything. So we explored the rest of the cave and found nothing there either. Embarrassed and disappointed, we made our way back to our cave tunnel and just called it a day. Oh my gosh, why are there so many dead deer around here? Is there like a deer plague or something? Am I gonna get deer plague? The next day, Mackenzie woke up with a cabin fever risk. So we left dark and early in the morning up the hill, with the plan of making it to the other cave that was mentioned in another memento hint. During our hike up the hill, we found a dead deer. So we started a fire and got to work cutting it up with our hacksaw. While we were cooking up our deer meat, we decided to do some crafting. And because of our bountiful cloth harvest from the day before, we were able to start on our improvised down bedroll. And once the sun came up, we decided to make a quick map before continuing our way up the hill. When we found a large open cave that was cleverly named Cave, and had lots of goodies just for us. Then, as was customary, we made a map and continued on our way. Just outside the cave, we found a nice clearing with a surprisingly non-aggressive wolf. And we continued our pattern of making a map and continuing onwards. When we found another dead deer. Since we were in no rush and Mackenzie was desperate for quality outdoor time, we plopped down another fire and jumped right into the deer carcass with our hacksaw. And just like before, while our deer meat was cooking, we kept working on our improvised down bedroll. Then we continued down the road towards a climbing rope. Once we reached the top, we turned around and made a map, just to see where we were. And it turned out we were very close to our destination. Just a short walk away, we found our cave and went inside, unsurprised to find that it was also just called Cave, making it the third cave named Cave that we had caved in today. So we went inside the cave and found a cute room with a little cave skylight. So we snuggled in, read a little bedtime story, then laid down our fluffy new bedroll, and went to bed, ready to explore the mysterious cave in the morning.